what had you prior to starting rapid fat loss? Like what else had you tried to lose weight, and what was your kind of experience of using those different methods?
Prior to working with Niall, I had a personal trainer, um, which was yeah, we had even though he was based in Ireland, I was based in Germany. It was it was difficult enough just to try and keep momentum going. Not down to the personal trainer, it was more my own mentality as well, just to stay focused. We did find it a little bit hard to get the weight down. It did move a little bit, but not to where we were happy with. Yeah, I mean, fitness wise, it was great. Trained with him for a half marathon, which was quite successful, but with the weight loss, it got to a point again to um, where we bottomed out on a weight and it just wouldn't move anymore, and that was it. So we tried our best, but yeah, it just didn't get to where we wanted it to be exactly at the end. Yeah, and that was my past experience in weight loss.
Okay, so then after the personal trainer, um, you came to me, and we worked together for about a year. And in that year, just looking back over your results, you lost 20 kilos, which averages out at about a pound a week. And if you kind of listen to any kind of conventional wisdom around weight loss, like that's the slow and steady amount that people recommend. But and this is probably testament to you, is that a lot of people when the weight's kind of trickling down by a pound or half a pound per week, or some weeks it stalls, it's just they lose a lot of motivation. And that's when consistency starts to drop off, and that's where old habits start to creep back in. Now, luckily, you were consistent. Obviously, you had a coach helping you to kind of stay accountable as well. But we then started rapid fat loss about 7 weeks ago. It was 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, 5 6 weeks ago. Yeah, we
Or
started that.
5 or 6 weeks ago. Okay, so you lost 20
Yeah,
kg.
5 6 weeks now. Yeah.
Yeah, so you lost 20 kg over the course of a year. And now, since starting rapid fat loss, how much have you lost in those 5 or 6 weeks?
We are over 7.5 kilos in that period of time in 6 weeks. It's almost 8 kilos of weight loss.
Okay, so nearly 8 kg of weight loss. So, you know, if staying on that trend, you'd probably be at 10 kg in 8 weeks.
Yeah,
Probably
I
fair
would
enough.
say 9 weeks, probably 10 kilos. Yeah, done.
Yeah,
9
10,
weeks.
10 kg in 8 weeks. So that's half of what you lost over the course of a year in 2 months. All right.
Yeah.
So which is obviously crazy. But like, what's been your experience of accelerating fat loss by that much? Because a lot of people would have a lot of skepticism about losing weight that fast, because they think that you'll just be starving all the time, you'll feel like shit, your energy will be really low, you'll probably just regain all the weight just as fast as you've lost it. So what's been your experience of going from slow and steady to transition into rapid fat loss?
So the first week was probably the toughest, where yeah, trying to follow the program, as you would say. Um, but it is obviously a mental thing where you just have to stay focused for the first week. Energy levels were down for the first week, but again, it's down to the mentality side of things of learning not to reach for food. Just have the things that Niall tells you to have in front of you and have them ready when those hunger pains do come in. Have them ready. I mean, I always had a high protein yogurt with me, always stuck in the office. Water, and more water. Can't emphasize that enough to keep the hunger pains away. And after the first week, um, it started to disappear. Where my dinners were my sole. I wouldn't say my sole meal, but they were my meal. And even at that, by the time the evening came, it wasn't as if I was starving and waiting and trying to muck up a meal. It was like, oh yeah, I'll put something on. It was like like a reset in the body. It just yeah, if you want to eat, you'll end up eating. If you don't want to eat, your body's like, yeah, it's okay. I don't have to eat. Yeah, it was after that, from second week to week number 7, 8, it's pretty much fine.
Okay, so after the first week, and usually it takes kind of 3 to 5 days, but it can take up to a week for your hunger to really fall off a cliff.
Exactly.
But how would you even compare your hunger now compared to your hunger when you were doing the more kind of slow and steady approach?
I would definitely feel less hungry now.
Okay,
Yeah,
even though you're losing weight faster
yeah,
and you're eating less food.
yeah, definitely less hungry during the day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
I would say it's pretty stark how less hungry you are. But it is that first week where you're just like, yeah, I need to focus.
yeah, for sure. And how has that been in terms of being able to stick to this and like motivation levels. So obviously you're getting great results. So when you combine like the motivation of that and the reduced hunger, like how easy has it been to actually lose this weight?
Pretty easy. Yeah, like it goes back to that first week. Once you're past that first week, it's your moral is just so much better because you just see the numbers just going right down. So you're just like, yeah. I think there might have been one week where there was 3 or 4 days where my weight just kind of stayed the same, but after that couple of days, it just plummeted again. But it goes back to the data and uh, the guidelines of what the target weight you should be losing per week. Once you hit that, I mean, if it does stagnate for 3 or 4 days, as long as you're hitting that, whether it's a half a kilo or a kilo or 1.5 kilos, which I was looking at, once I was hitting that, then yeah, it's fine. So
And how have your energy levels been? Because obviously you have, you're a busy man. You're working probably what, 6 days a week. You run your own business. You're active. So
yeah,
how have your energy levels been during a busy lifestyle where you're still exercising as well, whilst eating like a really kind of low calorie diet?
yeah, exceptional. Yeah, I like I said, it goes back to the first week. First week's a bit iffy, but after that, energy levels are fine. Thinking much clearer. That fogginess in the brain is completely gone. You're a lot more focused. A lot more focused in the last couple of weeks. So energy levels have, yeah, there's no lack of it, which is good. And even like we're training for a half marathon in a couple of months' time, and yeah, obviously the first week just had to put the training aside for that. But even with the intense training we're doing for that, now it's like yeah, don't have to eat beforehand. Nothing. It's yeah, the energy levels are still they're fairly high, which is good.
Cool. So talk to me about like the kind of physical changes that you've noticed, even that in that kind of short space of time over the last 5 to 6 weeks.
So yeah, all my clothing, shirts, t-shirts, everything would be always have been an XL, and now I'm swimming inside them, like they're just falling off me. The notches on the belts, which would have been always at the first or second, now I'm punching new holes in the belt just to keep the trousers up. Yeah, shorts, trousers, everything are just yeah, everything's getting much smaller. Even down to the underwear is like yeah, that's gotten smaller. So everything's been positive, very positive.
Have you been surprised by because of you've lost 20 kg over the course of the year, which was, still a huge amount of weight. Um, but have you noticed or have you been surprised by the speed of the physical changes in the 5 or 6 weeks compared to that?
Yeah, yeah, very surprised. I didn't think it'd be that obvious in this period in that such a short space of time.
Mm.
We knew something would happen, but didn't think it would be that rapid.
Well, it's in the name, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. So last question for you then, like, would you recommend having done the kind of slow and steady approach and now kind of 5 or 6 weeks into this approach, like, would you recommend rapid fat loss to someone that has maybe been in a similar situation to what you were in before, where, they've tried a couple of different things, maybe got some results, maybe not got some results, but ultimately things just kind of stop or slow down or they lose consistency or motivation. Like what would be your recommendation to someone maybe thinking about rapid fat loss?
Yeah, most definitely I'd recommend this to everybody and anybody that's looking to lose weight. Obviously at a very advanced pace, whether it's men or women, if they're looking to shift good weight, it's definitely the way to go. It's just yeah, staying focused in that first week is the most important.